doing for Ozzfest? It's been 18 years, man. It's been here on this stage. We appreciate and love you all for checking out our set, coming to this festival, supporting this community. We fucking love you all, man. So very fucking much. We're gonna do a lot of older songs tonight. Let us know if you know this one.
So today we have Buz Mcgrath of the band Unearth, legendary band Unearth. What's up, Buz? How you doing?
Nothing, man. Just hanging out. Thank you for saying legendary.
Dude, thank you for being here. This is super rad. And I got to address this from the beginning. We're pretty close to one another.
Yeah.
So, but like you're a Lynn kid. I'm a Lynn kid. We were born in the same city.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn, Massachusetts.
City of Kings.
Yeah, something like that, right? Rad. I don't think I've ever actually met you, but I'm homies with your brother.
Yeah.
And your other brother, actually, we're neighbors. I have a condo in Salem.
Okay.
And like it's right next to his place.
No shit, because I'm hanging out there all the time and in Lynn. So that's weird. We never cross paths.
That's what I mean, dude. I mean, I saw your band play way back in the day, which we'll get into, but I don't think I've ever like officially met you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Makes perfect sense. And in the circles we run in, it would have been a no-brainer, but they say a small world, but apparently not that small.
Right. All right, man. So you're in Salem? Salem,
yes.
Mass? Cool, man.
Which is Salem. Don't get me started about Salem.
What, you don't like Salem? I love Salem.
It's like I live right downtown, so there's a lot of traffic. Like it's awesome because I just walk to stuff that I need to get to. I don't really need to use my car, but when I do have to use my car and I got to deal with the jabronis, tourists that are all around, I'm like, fucking hell.
It's a fucking nightmare. That's why obviously I'm not going to say exactly where, but where I'm neighbors with your other brother, it's perfect. I used to like, quiet street, but I used to walk downtown every single day. Winter, summer, spring, fall, didn't matter, dude. You know what I mean?
My brother and his wife, they always just cruise down there, and it's not that far.
Yeah, dude, it's the shit. But I gotta say, I mean, I haven't traveled the world, I don't think as much as you have, but I've traveled a bit, and I'm certainly biased. But like Lynn and Salem, there's no place like it.
Yeah, it's cool here, and like, there's so many tourists coming to downtown because it's like all the witch stuff, which is weird to me. Like in the 1600s, if you were a woman and you knew math, they would just kill you. So, and like, what if you were like one of those women's like sons, like a little boy in a time machine, and you came here now and you're like, you motherfuckers are getting money off this? This is crazy.
Dude, that's
fucking
heavy.
Monster Mash is coming out of every goddamn fucking store.
It's pretty fucked. Like it's a very dark history. It's like we're laughing about it.
Yeah.
But what else can you do? But yeah, I mean, Salem was ashamed of that history for until very, very recently in the grand scheme of things, right? Now it's like a tourist thing, but yeah, it's like fucking weird, actually.
I think there might be like even some beef amongst. I mean, I've just heard this like secondhand amongst like business owners who like kind of advertise the witch stuff. Like it's kind of like, oh man, why are you gonna lean on that to get money or whatever? But I remember Salem in the 90s. It was nobody was here. It was cool as hell. Like because we would take the bus from Lynn to come here and skate because nobody would bother you.
Right.
Like nobody was looking. You could do whatever the hell you wanted, and there's nobody here.
Right.
It's changed a lot.
It's fucking now. There's like a Bewitched statue. I don't know when that went up, but it was like within the last 15 years, 20 years or so, right?
It was not a real witch. She just played one on TV.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a total touristy thing, and but I don't know. I do love Salem though.
Yeah, I love it, and then I complain about it. But
yeah, it's one of those. Well, you're allowed to because you live there. Like I can talk trash about Lynn, but if you're not from there and you talk trash about Lynn,
yeah,
we got a problem. You know what
I
mean?
Check your tone.
That's right. Upbringing, any influences, whether it's Lynn, Salem, sports, whatever, and eventually, if you don't mind, leading into guitar.
Yeah. Came up in Lynn, East Lynn. Went to Callahan School as a kid, and then I moved to where Sisson School is. Started going to school there, and that's where, the Richdale on Broadway.
Yeah, I live right near there. I shouldn't say that, but whatever.
I used to live right in the house, the gray triple decker right across the street.
Okay, cool, man.
Right by Minos. And
yeah.
Me and my brother started skateboarding. Like we just found skateboards or whatever. And there was a punk rock kid. His name was John Beller. He lived right around the corner. And he was a little bit older. And he skated. And he was like, the older punker guy when you're a little kid, like, wow, like whatever this guy says is probably what we're gonna do. And he was a huge influence on me and my brother because he would give us like Thrasher magazines, and we listened to Sex Pistols and Dead Kennedys and stuff. So that was a good turning point for me when I was about 12 years old, being like, all right, well, I'm way into this, so that then I started kind of going down that road. That was I think that was the initial catalyst to get me into like alternative music and stuff.
Where would you skate? Like by like Sisson, Pickering, the schools?
We'd skate down at the school. We'd skate in front of the house. We'd had a ramp in the driveway. But yeah, there was no real skate spots back then. So you just
especially in that spot too. It's like it's a busy street, very busy street.
Yeah, we made it work.
Yeah, that's what you do. How old are you?
45.
Thank you. I grew up in the Highlands.
I love that. That's another part of my story is the Highlands, man.
Tell me about it. I grew up on Cook Street. I went to Ford School. Yeah. I was at Cook Street Park every day. Like that's. Would you agree? This is some Lynn talk, but would you agree that's the worst neighborhood in Lynn or the most ghetto? I mean, it's up there.
It's rugged up. It's rugged up there.
Dude, yeah.
We had a buddy up there. His name was Chris Longo, and he had a house on Bayview. And it was kind of like his mom worked nights at a bar, and you could convince your parents to sleep over his house. So there'd be a gang of like, teenage skateboard rats like at this dude's house crashing out, and we'd go skate Ford School, and we'd bomb all those hills in the middle of the night. Just 20 dudes roaring down these hills like Allen Ave. Yeah. Just shredding. And that was a fun time. We would all gather up at Ford School in the parking lot. We had ramps and stuff. It was a great spot. Yeah, it was always rough up there, but we never really tweaked about it because like people never really messed with us because we were kind of like a small gang of our own, and people, anybody who was out there to cause trouble just knew they saw us every day, and they knew that we weren't really trying to sell drugs or move in on anyone's territory. So it was pretty quiet. There was always a few instances, but
I mean, there were definitely way worse things going on. Gunshots were not uncommon. Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, was that an M80 or a gun? I don't know.
Yeah.
When did you first pick up a guitar?
When I was like 15, I think.
Okay.
Or I mean, when I was a kid, my uncle had one. I should probably mention that, you know. And I would always sneak into his room and like try to mess with it, but not until I was about, you know, maybe 15 or so, when my brother, who was a little bit older, he and his older like heavy metal friends, you know, the typical 90s jean jacket. Well, it's a timeless look, let's put it that way. Jean jacket, leather jacket, tight pants, big puffy white shoes. It's still the uniform to this day. But
You're
back
right.
then, I was still kind of in skate and punk rock, and him and all his long-haired friends would come over, and they would bring guitars and stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of sick, and I would mess with their guitars, and you know, went from there.
So did you take lessons, or did you just pick it up and shred?
I just picked it up, and you know, at first I didn't really. It was just kind of having fun, and then it wasn't until like, I don't know, I didn't even get serious about it until Unearth started, in like '98 or so. Uh, that's when I was really like, all right, let's start practicing, and really, because I really fell in love with it at that point, and I could, and when you start playing with other bands put you on other bands, and like, wow, this is possible on guitar. I want to do that. Because at the time I was just kind of listening to hardcore and just really aggressive stuff, not so much the shreddy stuff. And once I kind of heard what you could do with it, like shred wise, I was really fell in love with it, and I really started spending a lot of time with it.
Cool, man. What were you listening to at that time while you were also, figuring out how to play guitar?
I think the first one that really made me want to play was Obituary Cause of Death. James Murphy, the guitar player on that record, I remember hearing it and being like, wow, how is that even possible to play like that? And that's when that kind of set me on the path there a little bit. After that, started listening to some power metal like Rhapsody and some Yngwie. And I just really kind of went down the road. Jason Becker. So I really went down the rabbit hole on it, like once I got into my 20s, and then really wanted. And I was lucky. I had a job. I worked at Lynn English High School as a janitor overnight.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I worked overnight, the overnight shift. And
what year is this?
This would have been 2001 to maybe 2003.
I graduated Lynn English High School 03, man. Whoa.
I was a janitor there while you were in school.
Well, thanks for cleaning
100%.
up my classroom, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I skipped school most of the time, but whatever.
what I would do is I'd bring in like a little, the little old, I don't know if the pod, the little red bean processor.
What's that?
It was just some little guitar processor thing. And I would take it to the music room, and I would plug it into a keyboard amp, and I would play for like 6 hours a night.
Oh, that's rad.
So that really propelled my guitar playing really quickly. Because if you can play at work, I mean, because instead of working 8 hours, you come home, you got to get dinner, and you don't have time. Like, it sucks. But I made it that job. I made myself get really good at guitar at the time.
That's brilliant, man. And no pun intended, you were a buzz around the school when I was going there. You know what I mean? Because Unearth was really starting to thrive at that time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was cleaning up shit off the bathroom floor at like 1 a.m.
I had no fucking idea. But that is brilliant, though. Yeah, so you're getting paid, right, to make a living while getting better at what you really want to do, which is play music.
I used to plug into the auditorium. They had done, I don't know if you were you were there for the construction, remember where it was old and then they did all the new stuff?
I do.
They redid the auditorium with a whole new sound system. I went in there and I plugged my shit into the sound system and brought a wireless and just stood in the middle of the auditorium like,
no way.
Like 3 a.m, cranked.
What other bands were you in, if any, before Unearth?
There was one other band called .04, like POINT-04. Original version of that was me, the original drummer of Unearth, Mike Rudberg, my friend Tony Gabuccio, my friend Mark Wysocki, and my friend Jay Lombardi. Eventually, we parted ways with some members. We got Ken was in .04 for a little while, and then Trevor. We parted ways with our singer of that band, and then we got Trevor, and then we changed the name to Unearth, and that kind of what started from there. I'm trying to get the .04 stuff on like a Bandcamp, but I can't find the CD.
Damn. There's one floating around somewhere.
Yeah, I can track one down. I can get it done. It's an interesting mix of like obituary, sheer terror, and like gore guts and biohazard.
All right. What are the chances of a listener would have one?
Probably, maybe. I have one on my iPod, but I don't know how that will transfer to like digitally. And even if I got the CD, what the hell am I going to do with it? My new computer doesn't have a CD slot anymore.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I have the actual DAT tapes, the digital audio tapes.
Oh, wow.
They're like the little square ones, but then you'd have to find a guy in a studio who has the machine. They're not making it easy for me.
Life is so hard.
Yeah.
It's brutal. All right, so let's fast forward to the start of Unearth, right? 98?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. So do you remember the first time that Unearth jammed?
Yeah, it was I think we had a band practice, and we decided that we weren't going to use the same singer anymore. So I don't want to say fired him, but parted ways. It seems nicer because he's a good friend of mine. And immediately we wrote our first song, which was Shattered by the Sun, which was on our first demo tape. And it felt fresh. I think we needed something to happen. And then we just popped out this song, which to me felt like something that nobody else was doing at the time. And I think we all got excited about it. And then we got Trevor in the band, and he started yelling over it, and it felt really good. We did a demo, and it was off to the races.
So you knew somewhat immediately that something was special. Something was happening.
Yeah, it just felt different. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be like I didn't think we'd be on Ozzfest someday or whatever, or we'd be on a podcast or something, but I felt that at the time we were going to, because our only mission was just to blow away the other local scene bands. You know what I mean? That was the only kind of thing that drove us.
Right. Now, I remember seeing you guys, I guess I'm fast forwarding a little bit, whatever, but New World, which is, right next to Burger King, McDonald's, and all that, like in Lynn, but it's also right next to the local high school football field.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I went. I would go to the football games, which I would walk from the Highlands where I live. And I don't know, me and a buddy or two, we would just like smoke a joint, and we would go to the football game. And my buddy, I got to give a credit to my dude, Jamie, he would just be like, "Oh man, there's a show like right over there. We need to go." And I didn't know anything. I was listening to rap. I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, "New World, let's go to New World." And I'd be like, "All right, cool, man. We're going to smoke weed." And then we go there, and that was my introduction to hardcore music. And that was when I saw your band many times. Like, we would leave at halftime from the football game and just go to the shows at New World, which is right next door.
Were fucking great. Yeah, you could rent that place out for fairly cheap, and you just get some bands in there, and kids would come and rage. It was a cool spot. I mean, I wish it stayed open and maybe had transformed into a proper venue, but I think the people who owned it had some tax issues or whatever with classic Lynn move, didn't pay their taxes.
Sounds about right.
Dude, my first show was at the New World.
Was it?
It was Gangrene.
Talk about that, man.
It was, I think I was like 12.
Holy shit.
I forget the year. I don't know. Maybe I was 12 or 11. And I remember going there, and Gangrene was a punk band that I've heard of. I didn't really know, but someone's like, "Yo, there's a show here." I was like, "I've never been to a show. Let's go check it out." And I remember like all the like old punkers and stuff, and being like, "Holy shit, look at all these people." And I remember seeing like dudes with guitars. I'm like, "Look at those cool guitars and shit." And there was like a bunch of like local Lynn metal bands at the time were playing, whose name sadly I forget because I just wasn't from that time.
Dude, so you knew from the beginning that it was something different and something was special, and you were all about it, right? with Unearth. When or what show, what moment did you like consciously realize, holy shit, like something's happening here?
I think it started about, I don't know, maybe, I think if you ask each member of the band, they probably have a different answer.
Sure.
Sometime around when the Oncoming Storm came out, maybe Hellfest 2004, which was like blew the roof off the place and people were going nuts. I was like, all right. Or maybe even Hellfest 03, which is pretty crazy. It's hard to pinpoint when because we would play Hellfest in Syracuse or wherever the hell it was, I forget. We'd play one day and there'd be 3,000 people going insane at this festival, and then we would play the next day in like Connecticut and there'd be 11 people there.
Right.
So it was never like you never felt too safe.
Well, when did you consistently start seeing like a crowd?
Yeah, probably about like 2004 and beyond, like Oncoming Storm, which was a huge record for us.
Yeah, huge record. Yeah.
So it put us on the map a bit. So we would always, get people in. It was consistent for, a while. And now, and then even 10 years ago, it goes up and down. Like 10 years ago, it went down. 5 years ago, it comes back up. And it's like, now it's like, you're just happy when anyone shows up,
Right. Yeah. Can I jump into a fan question? By the way, I don't know if I've had this many fan questions ever. So thank you. Yeah. You shared it from the Unearth Instagram, and
cool.
Holy shit. All right. I'm going to start, if I can read my own chicken scratch here.
Yeah.
All right. This is from @the Chuggernaut.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh God.
Wait. I think I might think I know who this is, but read the question and I'll tell you.
This is actually a really good question that I should probably ask everyone I talk to.
Yeah.
It's maybe my favorite one. What's the most rewarding moment of your musical career?
Okay, it's not the same person that I thought it was. Because I thought my friend is a similar screen name.
Okay.
And if it was him, it would have been just some fucking.
That might be coming up. You never know.
Yeah. What was it again?
It was, what is the most rewarding moment of your musical career?
I don't know. The first thing that comes to mind is like, if I'm out somewhere in public and somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, I fucking love your music and I love what you do," and I'm like, "Wow, thank you." And I don't know if people like it because it's weird for people. Like, you don't want to interrupt somebody what they're doing, but I absolutely love it when someone says, "Hey, thank you for what you're doing." That always makes me boil over with pride. So like stuff like that is cool.
That's a great answer.
Shows like just kind of like anytime a record gets like a song gets played on like Sirius or something, like that's always cool too.
Yeah, that's really rad. And there is no band like Unearth that I've heard, for sure. 1,000,000%. And I'm a big fan too. I mean, the first album that I got was The Stings of Conscience, which this dude I went to high school with, well, actually, I mean, I grew up with him in the Highlands. Actually, he's like the best friend I've ever had. He used to call it the Strings of Conscience. And he
Conscience, I've never heard, but everybody calls it strings of something.
Okay. And he was the one, he's a guitar player. He told me about he's like, "Oh yeah, they play in drop B." You know what I mean? Which I didn't know. I played drums. I used to jam with this guy. He'd be like, "Dude," he would always play drop D, and he'd be like, "Yo, Unearth plays drop B, bro." And I'm like, "I don't even know what that means." And then he would play your songs. And I'm like, "Oh," you know what I mean? Anyway, the Strings of Conscience. So another fan question. Are you ready?
Yes.
This is from @X Brian Ward X.
Oh, I think I know who this is.
Current favorite spot for roast beef, which is a North Shore, Massachusetts thing.
All right, Brian Ward. He's one of my great friends. He's from Syracuse, New York. He's guitar tech for Newfound Glory.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah. Favorite current beef spot. It's gonna be Jamie's in Danvers, or
isn't that in Peabody?
Peabody, Danvers. Nobody knows what the hell.
It's on the line. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So Jamie's in Peabody. has currently got a hot beef going on.
They're crushing it. Yep.
What else is cool?
You know what I like?
What do you like?
Kings.
Kings.
It's on the same street. Nobody,
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
I was about to say Kings.
Yeah.
They changed owners, and the beefs 6 months ago maybe, and the beefs were a little ish for a second, but I gave them another try, and they spot on.
They figured it out. Okay, because that was my spot when I was living in Salem before. Yeah.
Yep. Great spot.
But it's like, I feel like it's like low key one of the best beefs around.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And to piggyback that question, I know you know this guy at Tallboy666, Chris Coulon. It's a dude who grew up skating and stuff. He does insane art. You would know this guy. Vacation Forever. Yeah. You know Chris.
Yep, I know who he is.
Yeah, he's a sicko. He's amazing. He wants to know what your order is from John's roast beef.
Haven't been there in a while, but I'm getting a junior extra sauce small fry.
Okay, and that's any roast beef shop, I imagine. That would be your order.
Sometimes I get fancy and go 3-way, light on the mayo, because sometimes they'll slaughter it in mayo. It gets a bit much.
Oh, it fucking ruins it, man.
So light mayo, sauce, cheese, maybe a pizza roll if it's to go, because the pizza roll heats the bag up, because the pizza roll never cools off. Dude. So it keeps the beef warm while you travel home.
I never thought of that. That's brilliant.
Pro move.
That's like next level. I always get a pizza roll, but I didn't realize how much it was improving the rest of the meal on the way home.
They're fucking molten on the inside.
Yeah,
lava.
Yeah, you're right. Lava. That's definitely lava. All right. At Recris16, how much weed do you smoke?
Not a lot. I usually, like, if it's the weekend, maybe I'm out for a while, if there's a blunt getting passed, I'll hit it, just to vibe up. And then a lot of times when I get home from like being out, I'll pack a bowl and take 2 hits maybe. Or if we go by my friend Chris's house, I won't give you his last name or location, but we go by there and do bong rips, which is like, for me, like, bong rips is like the classic, like, cartoon, like, weed smoking method, because it's so, like, I don't know, there's something about it. It's like, it gets me excited to like have this whole thing. It just seems like you're really smoking weed now. So I'll do that occasionally.
I am pretty much 100% with you. I was talking about smoking weed earlier, like puffing on a joint, going to see Unearth at New World. But now, dude, I don't know, man. It's just like, I'm like a one hit wonder, one and done. Like, I take one puff. I used to smoke joints to my face on the way to work, like way back. I worked at like Kelly's Roast Beef in like 2002. You know what I mean? I would smoke a joint on the way to work. And now I'm like, I can't take more than 2 hits, like you said. And I'm like I can't even, you could blindfold me with dental floss. Like, I can't even like keep up.
The weed is better now, though.
That's true. You're right.
I'll take edibles occasionally, but usually they just put me in the dirt. Like, you know what I always fuck up? I'm like, I go home like, oh, let me take an edible before bed like an idiot. I'm already probably drunk or whatever. And then I wake up high. I'm like, I can't do anything. I don't like this. It's the worst.
And I don't know if this is for better or for worse, but I am better at waking up drunk than I am waking up high nowadays.
Yeah, me too. Because when I wake up drunk, I just get scared and think terrible thoughts.
Yeah, dude.
It's the hangover is not even a thing anymore. I feel fine. They call them the Sunday scaries.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, the world doesn't get, like, what if something bad happens to someone I love? Like, you start getting those type of feelings.
Right. What if, like, in that situation, if I have to go to work, because I'm a bartender, if I have to go to work, you know what I mean? I would rather wake up hungover than I've woken up from being high the night before and been too fucked up to work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Where do you bartend at? You can tell me afterwards if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'll tell you after. It's in the city.
All right, the good city.
Yeah, it's in the city. I mean, people can figure it out. I'm not that hard to find. You did Ozzfest.
Yeah, a couple times. It was sick.
Can you talk about that? Because that's so rad.
First Ozzfest 04, when we heard that we were going to get it, I mean, it was perfect. Like, we had The Oncoming Storm was coming out. Everything was set up. It was awesome. The band, there was a huge buzz around it. Everything was popping. Got on that. We get to get on a bus. Like, that's something we never did. So you sleep in the bus and you time travel to the next fucking spot.
Wow.
The party. And every show was awesome. Partied with everybody. Definitely a dream come true.
Yeah.
I have very fond memories of that.
Yeah, man. So what are some highlights from doing Ozzfest?
We would, I wouldn't say me, but it was me. We would just steal golf carts like a motherfucker and just crash them shit and everything. You find an unattended golf cart because you know the big venues like the Xfinity Center,
Great Woods, or
Tweeter
Center. Yeah, like the big outdoor what do you call those? There's a
amphitheater.
Amphitheater, thank you.
Yeah, so it got to the point where all these amphitheaters looked the same, and we thought that the bus would just drive around for 8 hours and drop us off at the same fucking amphitheater. It was like 8 weeks of that same amphitheater. So we kind of get a hold of golf carts and drive around and fucking smash beers and cause trouble. We were kids, you know, it was fucking stupid.
Wait, so did you ever, like, I don't know, get in trouble? Like, you know what I mean?
Myself, not officially, but there's a story about on Ozzfest 06, because we weren't done stealing golf carts. Now we were just better at it.
Okay.
And was two stories. There's one, we got pulled over by a police helicopter on a golf cart.
How's that even happen?
It was in Virginia. So I'm on a golf cart. It's late. Everyone's like kind of going to sleep, like on the buses and stuff. So I'm going like down like where all the buses are parked. And I see our bass player at the time, John Maggard, or Slow. And he's outside of the bus smoking a cigarette. I'm like, get on the fucking cart. And he looks at me. My eyes are fucking all over the place. He's like, no way, man. I'm like, get on the fucking cart. So he gets on reluctantly and we drive off site. Now we're not even in the amphitheater confines anymore. Now we're on regular streets.
Dude, you're in. Oh, wow.
So, and then we're on this, like, we got on this soccer field and we're just cruising around the soccer field. And then there was like a pair of small headlights behind us. We're like, oh shit, like they're onto us. And we bounced out of the soccer field and we were taking a right back into the venue. And this helicopter, police helicopter, comes right over a spotlight. And I look at John, oh, like, that can't be for us. And they're like, pull over to the side. So,
like, from the helicopter, they're like,
yep.
pull over.
We pull the golf cart over like a regular stop, and a cruiser comes up behind us. So we're just sitting there like, you're getting pulled over in your car. I'm like, be cool, man. And like the cop came over and he was like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, oh, we're playing here. Like, we were just driving around. I think the soccer field was under surveillance because they had a problem with dirt bikes and ATVs tearing it up. So when they saw us, they had people already ready to go and they wanted to investigate. And the cop was cool. He's like, look, we can arrest you for anything around here, but, you know, go about your business. So that was pretty cool.
Dude, that's wild. To me, that sounds like they were looking for like a bank robber or something. You know, like,
I guess it was a huge problem tearing up that soccer field. So I don't know.
Think about the cost.
Maybe he was already in the air, but yeah, the cost of fuel to get somebody who's tearing up a golf course.
Yeah,
a soccer field. Yeah.
Unless it's a really prestigious town with a lot of money. I don't know. But that's a great fucking story.
There was one more where it was me and Dan, the guitar player from Atreyu. We're on one. We're fucking tearing up somewhere. And we're getting chased, but because there's a lot of times there's like a golf cart company who leases the golf carts to the venue, right. And these people come to collect their golf carts at the end of the night. And if they can't find them, it's a kind of a problem for them, which I get. If I was them, I'd be pissed too.
Right.
So we're in a high speed pursuit and on golf carts. And so what we did was like we kind of took a left because all the buses, there's like 20 buses parked, you know, about 6 feet apart from each other. So we dipped down in between two of them and we drove it towards the end where the trailers were, and then we just kind of barrel rolled off of it and just sent it into the woods.
Holy shit.
And they came, they found there, and we just assimilated into the crowd with like a beer, you know.
You didn't get hurt?
No. I mean,
Wow.
we kind of slowed down a bit. So the golf cart just kind of continued on by itself.
Oh my God.
They found the golf cart, but what they also found on the golf cart was stuck in the seat was Dan from Atreyu's laminate.
Oh,
for the
no.
Ozzfest. And on the laminate is your picture,
Yep.
your name, and the name of the band.
Yeah, ID.
So they got they got in big doo-doo that day.
But you didn't.
No, because my laminate stayed in my pants because I'm a fucking pro.
And because you're from fucking Lynn, son.
That's what's up. These are street skills.
How much trouble did Dan get in? Do you know?
The rumor was, and I don't know, is that their band got docked pay for the next show, which was somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $10,000.
Damn, you never asked him?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I felt bad that he
Yeah.
and I bet his band was fucking even more, was super pissed. You know, I know my band would have been.
But did you like see him the next day and be like, hey man, like I don't know nothing about nothing? Kind
Yeah,
of
like thumbs up.
Wow, man, that's an amazing story. Holy shit, dude. You also did. Wait, do you have any more golf cart stories?
I mean, I got a million of them.
Tell me, please.
I'll give you one more. This was at in Mansfield, actually.
The Tweeter Center, kid.
The Tweeter Center, dude.
Fucking Great Woods.
Fucking Great Woods. Me and my friend Greg Middleton, we were cruising around on the big long ones, you know, the family carts that seat a bunch of people.
Yep.
So we're out back of the Tweeter Center, whatever you want to call it now, where the power lines run. We're in the woods, just off-roading somewhere. And what we were doing is we would pick up people on their way to their cars, walking after the show. Like, you going to your car? Get on.
People you didn't even know.
Yep, just fans leaving the show. We would just drive them to their cars. People were like, thanks. I didn't know this place offered that service. I'm like, well, it does now. So
hey, did you like in the show? That's amazing.
Yeah.
You're awesome, dude. That's so cool. Go on.
So what we would do is we're off road somewhere way the hell off out of the Tweeter Center in the woods. And we get to this cliff. And I went to like pull the cart over to look over the cliff, but it was too late. And we were like, holy shit. And this cart went down this almost vertical embankment. I was like, we're going to die. But we made it safely. And we rolled away laughing. So we went back to where all the bands were hanging out. And we're like, yeah, get on. Let's take a ride. And we took them up to that cliff. And we're like, you guys ready? And everyone's like, no. We just took like 12 people down the...
Wow, man. So you definitely have a thing for golf carts.
Yeah, I think it was one tour we did where they may have heard about some of the hijinks and they pulled us aside specifically and they were like, we catch you on any fucking golf cart. No, that was Mayhem Fest, I believe. There was like a big production meeting at first and our tour manager was there. So the tour managers go to the production meeting day one and they talk about how everything's going to get run. And somebody pulled our tour manager aside, like, listen, any of you fucking guys get on a golf cart. It's fucking over. So he came back and he told me that. I was like, oh, shit.
All right. Now, you also did MTV's Headbangers Ball.
Yes. The show or the tour?
Both.
Yeah. Headbangers Ball tour. Wasn't there a couple of those? The first one was Killswitch, Lamb of God, Unearth, Shadows Fall. And we opened, I think we did half the tour and then God forbid did the other half of the tour. Why they wouldn't have just put all the fucking bands on the whole tour, I don't know. But because that would have made it even sicker.
Right.
That tour was awesome. You know, we're friends with all the bands forever, so that's always a fun time. Yeah. And then I think the Damage Plan, Hatebreed, Drowning Pool, Unearth tour, I think that might have been a Headbangers Ball tour.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm not sure. That was a fun tour. Got to hang out with Dime and Vinny, who were literally the nicest people I've ever met.
That's rad, man.
You got me onto a story about Dime then. So we were gambling in, I forget where. So we play CeeLo. I don't know if you ever play CeeLo.
Yeah, dice.
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. You know, keep going. So we would play, like, this is a classic, like, band on tour game. You play for dollars. It's kind of for hoots and hollows. It's fun.
Maybe it can get deep though. The pot can get.
Yeah.
Once
people get gnarly about it, like, it can get up there. Dime saw us all playing, like, out back, like by the van or something. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh, playing this game." So we taught him how to play it, and he gave everybody there $100 bill to play with.
Oh shit!
And then he lost the roll, and whoever won tried to give him back the money. He's like, "Nope, keep it."
What a gentleman!
Yeah, it was awesome.
Wow.
And then he was in for the rest of the tour. He's like, "Yo, where the dice at?" You know.
Wow, that's a gentleman move. I like that. That's a cool story too, man. A fan question. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Geez, I still have like 8 of these at least.
Cool.
All right. This is from AbeCast11. Do you remember the Thanksgiving 40-ounce / date on newspaper? I can't read tea giveaway.
Oh, yes. I had a shirt. It was an Unearth shirt. It had a picture of, I forget the exact print. It was a 40-ounce of OE or whatever. And on the back in big bold print, it had a quote from the Eazy-E song, 40 ounce in my lap and it's freezing my balls.
All right.
So it was, hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
So I have the picture right here. So we spoofed this.
Oh, cool, man.
You might not be able to see it because of the reflection, but
no, I can see it very well.
We put this in a shirt and we just put like Unearth and then whatever the fuck, whatever Unearth shit you put in there, but it was the same thing.
That's really rad.
And then we put 40 ounce in my lap and it's freezing my balls in the back, quick from Eazy-E song. So I on Facebook one day, like I just found the shirt and I was like, the first person who can reply with a picture holding a 40 with today's newspaper, I will send you this t-shirt.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so this dude, he did it, and like he was in LA, so it was like 9 a.m. I was like, "Dude, it's 9 a.m. You're ripping a 40." I'm like, "Hell yeah!" So I sent him the t-shirt.
That's so rad, man. I mean, you gotta respect that.
Yeah, because I was gonna be like, anybody you can send me a picture of a 40, like you drinking a 40, I'll send it to you. But why? Like, I want to see you do it right now. Like with a because that's always like in the movies, like you would have the hostage hold a fucking newspaper of today's date so you can verify.
Yeah, man. And I worked overnight for a while, and I used to drink beers at 6, 7, 8 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So maybe he worked overnight.
When I worked overnight, I tried to do that. I could never get into it, but I never.
No.
I could probably do it now if I had to. But
when you were a janitor at Lynn English.
Yeah. On Thursdays was my Friday. I used to drink 40s on the roof at English.
On the roof?
Yeah, when the weather got nice, I'd finish my job and go up on the roof and fucking throw tennis balls to people.
At who?
Anybody. You want to hear a quick story about that?
Of course I do.
So I post up on the roof, drinking a 40, got some tennis balls, and there was a car pulls up that looking out over the meadows, like pointing towards the meadows out back.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna hit this car with something. And there was a girl got out of the car and she kind of did the, like to get the weed seeds and stems off the shirt. Yeah. And then I waited, the windows rolled down, some smoke came out. So I was like, boom, right off the roof. High beams go on towards the meadows. Cause who threw that? And I waited another minute and I hit him with another one. Direct hit. They peel out, they're gone. And then the police come. No, that was one story. And then 2 years go by. Nobody out there. Right. Nobody.
Right.
2 years later, there was like a car full of knucklehead dudes running into carriages and shit. So I whipped one of them, hit him. Car locks up its brakes. Bunch of bro dudes like, yo, what the fuck is up? What's up? Looking for someone to fight. And I throw another one at them. And they end up leaving. And then the police come and just cruise, and I hit them.
You hit the cops?
Because I was so bored. No cars ever, you think a lot of cars would come back there. I was up there for a good 2 years and nothing. I threw things in my own car. I drove my car through it one time. if during a quick story, I know we keep
No,
going on,
no,
but I have a
please.
million stories about this.
No, I want to hear them all.
There was a time when it was under construction and they took out all the fucking doors. So there's no doors in the building at all.
To the school?
Yep, to the school. The doors got taken out that day. And
This had to be 99 when I was going in as a freshman.
Yeah.
It was a disaster. It was a disaster. Yep. There were fires. It was a fucking mess, man.
Yep.
Go on.
There was no doors. So I would go in at 11 and like, oh, cool. Like, so anyone can just roll up in here? And it's not in a good good neighborhood. So, and then also to add insult to injury, the two other guys I was supposed to work with called out sick. So that was just me in this unprotected building. One time dogs were running through it. And I was like, I came downstairs and there was dogs running through it. So what I had to do is I had to take desks down from the Tracy Ave wing to the new section. And I'm like, all right, what's the best way to do this? I had an 88 Volkswagen GTI.
Oh my God.
I was like, just backed it in 2 trips right down the fucking hallway.
How many desks could you fit in the GTI?
I made 3 trips for 12 desks, so about 4 desks.
That's impressive.
Yeah, with the hatch.
Oh, that's
done
actually
in like 2 seconds.
That's actually brilliant, to be honest with you.
But a lot of times I go in there and they wouldn't replace the doors for a long time. And if there was no doors and I was the only one there, I would just go up to the 3rd floor to like one of the guidance offices and just watch TV. Because I'm not going to be like down there with some crazy people show up and kill me.
Right.
Not for this job.
Well, you get the street smarts.
I know motherfuckers who roll down there.
Yeah, man.
I'll be right back.
Cool. What up, man?
Just needed to refresh my beverage.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Are you ready for a fan question?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. At E Schwartz 333. How did your picking style come about? And specifically using your pointer finger and thumb more than your wrists. Does that make sense?
Yep, I know what he's talking about. A lot of people ask me this. I don't really have a good answer. Other than I remember when I first started playing, I would use a fist. And that was really weird. And then I would see pictures of people with their kind of hand open. And I was like, maybe I should stop doing this weird fist movement and start like this. And it just kind of just developed that way. I use a little bit of wrist, but it's mostly like this, which people are always like tweak out about like that. Like, how do you do it like that? It just evolved that way. I would say look into what's the best technique from professional players.
Right. No, carpal tunnel or whatever.
I had some carpal tunnel issues in my 20s. In my left hand, I think maybe it was just growing or muscles or something. I would just wake up and start try to play as fast as I could, and then my hand would go numb. It would be like these 3 fingers and thumb would just go completely numb. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I saw a doctor. He said to like do some stretches and stuff, but it's not an issue for me anymore. Sometimes my elbow gets weird.
All right, another fan question at Palm _ I can't read my own writing. Pierre Awat. I think that's correct. What's your favorite Thai food?
I don't really know. I eat Thai food rarely. There's a place right down the street from me that I get anything with chicken, vegetables, and onions. Onion is a vegetable though, so.
All right. What's that spot down the street? Do I know about?
It's at the East India Mall.
Oh yeah. In the Salem Mall, kid.
Yeah, good Thai food there, I think.
All right.
I mostly go Indian if I'm gonna go like ethnic. Is that a bad word to say about food?
No, not at all. All right, another fan question at Ryan Z Master. When's the new album?
We're recording in October, November. So
Sick.
would expect to see that. I would say spring of 2022.
That's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's really
looking
cool.
forward to it. I mean, we tried to get some shit done during the COVID stuff, but I wish it was more than what we have.
Right.
It was we just got lazy. I mean, I was like, all right, let's get lazy. I did. I mean, I got 10 songs, and we'll probably have 10 more by the time I go to record. So we'll definitely have material, but
I feel you. It was a weird time for everyone.
Could have been way more prolific, if I can be honest, for myself.
All right, from at aberration_existence. Will you please make tabs available for the strings? So I'm already the strings of consolence.
All right, so here's what I think might happen. That album is getting remixed and then reissued on vinyl, I think.
Cool.
So I think part of that hype machine I assume would be a tab book, and there's a company that does our tab books called Sheet Happens. Some of the guys, one of the guys from Protest the Hero, they run that company, and they're very good at figuring out guitar parts and making it into tabs. They have tab books for, I think, most of our other records. So I think once this gets released, I think part of the hype machine will be them putting out a tab book, which I will need to learn those songs.
That's cool insight, because when I read that question initially, I was just like, I assumed that kind of like Reddit or something like that. I assumed that just fans would put those tabs up.
There's probably fan tabs up,
right,
on ultimateguitar.com. Those aren't always the most accurate,
right?
But the company Sheet Happens, they have the most accurate tabs.
It's a great name, Sheet Happens.
Yes.
Right. Are you ready for the next one, Buzz?
Mm-hmm.
All right, from AbeCast11. What's the easiest route from Los Angeles to Worcester?
I don't know. I would take the southern route through Texas.
Okay. That's interesting.
It makes the most sense.
You wouldn't go.
You can go the middle, but you go south through Texas, and then at some point you kick up left north.
I guess the first question would be define easiest, right?
Yeah. Do you want to see stuff or
right?
Easiest, straightest, less turns?
Like quickest, or that's a good question.
Easiest route from Los Angeles to Worcester would be to get on a plane.
Yeah, you're right.
Fly to Boston, and then you'd have to drive to Worcester. Or you could fly to Worcester, maybe. I don't know.
You could. There is an airport. That's a good. All right. This is from @XHeartlessX17. Jimmy wants to know, do you remember you stayed at his place in Colorado? Do you remember while you were sleeping, he stepped on your head? He's sorry about that, by the way. He did want me to tell you.
I don't remember. That was so long ago. You know what? We stopped staying at people's houses because people kept stepping on our heads.
All right. A couple more fan questions, and then I want to ask you about traveling, if that's cool. If you got time.
Absolutely.
You got time? All right,
I
cool.
got time.
All right. This is from @NotAndrew. I can't read my own writing, dude. Why ESP guitars?
We were with Ibanez for many years. They were a great company. Kind of got stale with them. I think at the time, we wanted to get more attention from the company, maybe a bit more exposure, like guitar wise. And ESP was stepped up and was ready to do that, especially in the form of a signature model guitar. And I always loved their guitars anyways. They're great instruments. But
they sponsor you? I don't even know.
Yeah.
That's rad, dude.
And they were like, hey, design a guitar. We'll sell it to the public and give you a cut of the proceeds.
Why would you not do that?
I like money.
Yeah, fucking
guitars are cool, and it's a guitar that I designed that has everything that I want. So.
All right, last fan question This is at Randall Obsolete. Can you can you sign my LTD Buz 7?
Absolutely. See, he has the guitar that I just talked about.
Perfect.
I bring it to a show. You just hit me up anywhere. I'll sign it.
All right. Well, there's your fan questions. Thank you for answering all those, man. Really appreciate it.
And thank you to the fans for putting those questions in.
Hell yeah, man. All right, Buz, can I ask you? Let me start off with this. 2 years ago, 2019. This is actually how the podcast started. I went to Europe on my own, and it started as a travel log. I did a cruise up into the Baltic Sea. Mm-hmm. And I was like one day either ahead or behind you guys. I can't remember, but I was in Tallinn, Estonia, and I like Googled what's going on in Tallinn, Estonia right now. And Unearth
was playing there.
Unearth was playing like that night or the night before. I can't remember, but I was on a cruise. All I remember was I had to be back on the boat like that night. And I was like, fuck, like this guy from Lynn is here like right now.
You could have just showed up and said you were from Lynn. You could have just rode back with us.
Right. Which I kind of wish I did. You know what I mean? But I was on a boat, whatever. So yeah. I would love to just talk about traveling is my point. You guys have traveled the world.
We've been to a bunch of places, and I love the Baltic region. You get Latvia over there, Estonia. Mm-hmm. We did a tour of the Balkans once, which was like Greece, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria. You should have seen us in Bulgaria, me and Ken acting like complete fools. Hey, look at my Bulgaria.
Like bulge area.
Yeah, my bulge area. Idiots.
I'm cracking a beer. I'm cracking a beer. Right. Love that.
So, where else? Macedonia. Yeah, Macedonia. Like that was a cool trip.
Macedonia.
Yep.
Wow.
Belgrade is awesome. We got friends from Belgrade. Like a lot of times when we tour Europe, people who work like our crew, our sound guy, our merch girl, and sometimes our tour manager, they're all from Serbia, Belgrade. Great folks, great town. Loved it there.
So, favorite place that you've traveled to abroad?
I like Japan.
Yeah.
Because it's the closest you'll get to being on another planet. Like just not the people, but just signage and the way everything works. Like that's the closest you'll ever be to being on another, like an alien planet.
Like in the future.
Yeah, it's so interesting there.
That's a common answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Australia's awesome. A little too expensive for my taste. They don't really have much of an ozone layer, so you're gonna get burnt up quick. What else? I've grown to love Europe like in the last, I don't know how many years. When we first started going there, I didn't really like it. And
really?
then I started to like really enjoy it. Maybe because it coincided with me getting cell phone service over there, and because I international data plan. I think as soon as I got that, I started to enjoy it a little bit more. Because now you can jump on a Lime scooter, go see some awesome shit. You know, you'd be like, playing somewhere like in Switzerland. Like, cool, Switzerland must be dope. So imagine you were from somewhere else and you were gonna play a show in Boston, but you woke up on Centennial Drive, and you're like, "What's this?"
Jeez, dude.
Like, where's the city center? Like, it's a 40 € cab ride. You're like, oh, I guess we'll just hang out here.
Yep. Yeah.
So a lot of times you're like, all right, fucking Europe sucks because we're just in some industrial park somewhere. But now it's like, get on a Lime scooter, drive somewhere, or
Yeah, the Lime app is huge, man. I did that in like a bunch of cities in Europe. I did in like Lisbon and Copenhagen. But Switzerland, I will say specifically, riding the trains through Switzerland like I didn't want to get off. It's the only time in my life I didn't want to get off the train.
Yeah, I just Swiss Alps and stuff is just outstanding. I get up if we're driving through like Italy and like the Italian Alps and then whatever Swiss Alps. I'll get up and like wake up in the morning and just sit in the bus and just watch these insane things go by. You know.
Yeah, man.
I like it a lot now. I can't wait to go back.
What are your favorite spots?
Porto, Portugal is an awesome place. That's a vacation spot though. If you like want a vacation, but we just happen to play there. I like mainland, fucking Germany now. I'm way into, Frankfurt.
Wait. I want to hear about what's this Portugal spot?
Oh, Libsyn, not Libsyn, Porto.
Okay.
Kind of north, I think.
Beach. Okay.
Yeah, and there's all like the red house tops or the clay, and you could take gondolas like up and down. We had wine and octopus on a restaurant. It's fucking awesome.
That sounds amazing, man.
I'm always like, we're like kind of more about the vacation spots. Like, oh, let's go out to get like or Bruges, Belgium or something. Let's go get some mussels, That's Prague. It was awesome. And that was Prague was a place that I went to a bunch of times, and I was in a shitty club on the outside of town, and we're like, oh, Prague fucking blows. Well, no, get your ass up and go see the goddamn city and then make your decision. Prague is awesome.
Right. But it's hard when you're on tour, though. It's hard, man, because even if you're on a bus, which is luxury, honestly, but even then, dude, you need to fucking rest.
Right? I think I just grew up a little bit in the last however many years. Like, let's get out, let's do some stuff, and it's like, man. Maybe we got to bed early instead of getting banged up all night.
Right.
Now you wake up, you feel good, like adventurous. Let's go see some stuff.
So what's your favorite, like, doesn't matter anywhere in the world that you've been, your favorite moment where you've done exactly what you just said? You got up early to just explore. Where and tell me the story.
We had a great day off in I want to say Gothenburg, Sweden.
Cool.
Awesome day off. Somebody had a hookup at an amusement park. So we go to this amusement park in for free, no lines, sick rides all day. And then we meet up later in the band In Flames has some of the guys who used to be In Flames have their own restaurant called 2112, I believe it's called. We went in there and we talked to one of the dudes and we got hooked up there. Like, give us free food, but a couple rounds on the dudes. Yeah. And it was like a great day off. And then we rode lime scooters around and we jumped them off like jumps and stuff.
That's so rad.
Yeah.
All right, man. You're a Lynn guy. We're from the same place, born in the same hospital. Aside from, Boston, what is your favorite place to visit in the United States?
I just went on a trip by myself down to Eastern Tennessee, Western North Carolina. That mountain region up there.
Yep.
Is just beautiful. Like I've been through there so many times, like on tour. And like, man, I would love to come here and just stop and hang out. But you got to kind of keep Asheville area, like outside of that with mountains and stuff. So what I did was about a month ago, I rented a van and just drove around for 2 weeks by myself and camped out at places.
What did you rent?
It's just a cargo van. I got it for $15 a day, unlimited mileage.
How?
It was from the Hertz in the Linway. I don't know how. I just booked it and I was like, fuck it. Just let's do something around this van. And
no mileage, penalties?
Nope. It was 2 weeks, cost me about $280 or something like that.
Are you shitting me?
Nope. It was insane. Gas went way up right when I took the trip. So that was kind of a problem. But I started out in like West Virginia. I rented a cabin like on a mountain for 2 days. And then I moved. And I saw friends along the way in like Nashville and Florida. And it was a cool time. I love just getting... I think it's been so long since I've been on tour that I was like, I need to go get behind the wheel of a vehicle and just see the highway.
Wait. You could have gone to Alaska and back with no penalties.
Yep.
All right.
And I looked it up. I looked through every single fine point of the contract. Nowhere does it say. And online, they say that you might get put on a do not rent to list. but who fucking cares? It's over.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
that seems too good to be true. Maybe
I rented it again for a week in July because I'm going up to Vermont and I might go up to like Lake Champlain and like do some shit out
cool.
there. So I rented it. It was like $23 a day unlimited miles.
I might have to look into that. I'm not even kidding.
If you rent it ahead of time, like far enough out and for long enough, you can get it for pretty cheap. I go through Orbitz and rent it like a month or so out, and just put in the pick application Lynn.
Yeah.
It might try to get you to go to Malden, but fuck that. The Linway one has it.
Yeah, Lynn. All right, man. Furnace Fest.
Yes.
Yo, Piebald and Unearth, same day.
They're the same day. Yeah, that
baby.
whole festival is nuts, man. It was supposed to happen last year and it didn't, and I'm glad they're still fucking going down with it. We played it the original one 100 years ago.
And now it's like a reunion thing, and the lineup is insane. Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
There's gonna be so many cool. You going down to it or?
Yeah, man. I'm with Piebald.
Right. Shit.
I will be on stage Sunday. Maybe we'll play on the same stage. I don't know, man.
Were you the guy who was a Piebald fan and you hustled for him and then you just got hired?
Yes.
I know the story. Somebody was telling me the story about.
I'm the guy. Yes.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yes. So I super fan turned cowbell player. I showed up to their sound check in LA in 2016 at a reunion show with a cowbell and some beers. And long story short, I went from that to merch guy to tour manager. Yes.
Good hustle.
Dude,
that's how it's
passionate.
So many people that have worked for us have gone on to do way better things. Like if you started working for us and people will take notice, like, oh, that guy's a hustler. I can name a bunch of names. Some of the people work for like Motley Crue now, like insane amounts of success. I am on the wrong side of this.
But they're my favorite band in the world.
They're Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, Andover. Yep.
Okay.
Andover, dude. Piebald played with like Converge.
Yeah, they were like
Cave In. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
But
that's a true success story. Killer.
It's the coolest thing that's ever happened. It was the last tour we did was with Dashboard Confessional, and they were like, we want you to be tour manager, and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? It was the
but you
thing.
gotta figure that out, and that's hustle.
Yes, but I had a corporate background, so I just combined my experience with my passion for the band, and it was like you said before, a dream come true. That was my dream come true.
That's awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple of fucking Lynn kids just making it happen.
Right, no doubt.
That's why I hit you up, dude. I was like, yo, Furnace Fest on Earth, and I hadn't seen you, or I guess I hadn't officially met you, you know. But I saw we were on the same day at Furnace Fest together, and that's why I reached out. What else is going on? What can we plug, man, for Unearth, current and future?
Nothing right now. I think we just kind of wrote off 2021, except for we're gonna record in October, November. We got Furnace Fest, and then we got the Shadows Fall reunion tour in December.
Oh yeah.
Not tour, but you know the band Shadows Fall.
Oh yeah.
They're reuniting for one show at the Palladium December 18th. You'll have Unearth, Darkest Hour. There's two of the bands that I am terrible for not knowing who they are, but they're awesome. So that's December 18th. And there may be some other shows around that, not including Shadows Fall, because I think they're just doing the one show.
Right,
but we may play. We might try to get like an Albany show off out of it or something.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because I mean, we get to fly people in from Seattle and Dallas.
Oh yeah.
So it's like if you're gonna get people here for a show, you might as well play a couple. You know.
I mean, you might as well. Why wouldn't you at that point? Yep. All right, Buzz. Any other golf cart stories or anything?
No. I mean, there's probably a million, but I'm taxed.
All right, man. Thank you so much, dude. This has truly been an honor.
Thank you. If I don't see you before, then I'll see you at the Furnace Fest.
You're a legend.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
He's coming back for his flesh. Let's have some fucking fun.